How long does a female orgasm really last? The answer may surprise you. In this video, Intimate Wisdom offers a fascinating scientific perspective. Instead of relying on fleeting impressions, researchers have measured physiological markers such as heart rate, blood pressure, and pelvic floor muscle contractions to uncover the truth about the duration and quality of orgasm, something many people tend to underestimate. Here are some perspectives on the moments of orgasm. Moment 1. During orgasm, the female body enters a remarkable biological symphony, where science and sensation converge. At the center of this process lies the pelvic floor muscles, a network of supportive fibers responsible for holding the uterus, bladder, and rectum in place. When climax occurs, these muscles contract rhythmically, about every 0.8 seconds. From a physiological standpoint, it is an automatic reflex driven by the nervous system. From an emotional perspective, it feels like waves rolling in one after another, carrying warmth, intensity, and release. Simultaneously, the heart begins to race. The resting heartbeat of 70 to 80 per minute can surge to anywhere between 110 and 180 beats per minute. Levels comparable to sprinting. Blood pressure rises significantly, circulating energy throughout the body like a tide. Yet unlike exercise, the sensation is not exhaustion but exhilaration, as though a hidden volcano erupts in pulses of pleasure. These measurable changes are more than numbers on a chart. They symbolize how body and mind intertwine in moments of intimacy. Every beat, every contraction, is both a biological signal and an expression of human connection. In this fleeting state, a woman experiences not only a cascade of physical responses but also a profound sense of aliveness, where science reveals the mechanics, and love reveals the meaning. Moment 2. Beyond measurable data, orgasm manifests through visible signs written across the body. One of the most striking is pupil dilation, the widening of the eyes, as though trying to capture the entirety of the moment. This reaction, mediated by the nervous system, also reflects deep emotional arousal. Muscles throughout the body tense involuntarily. Hands may clench, shoulders tremble, toes curl. These subtle movements form a portrait of the body resonating with passion. Meanwhile, the skin may flush, turning pink or red, particularly on the chest, neck, and face, known as the sex flush. This occurs when blood vessels dilate and circulation increases. Described scientifically, these are responses of the circulatory and nervous systems. Described poetically, they are like a flower blooming at its brightest moment, brief, beautiful, unforgettable. They remind us that orgasm is more than a biological peak. It is a holistic experience where love, intimacy, and vitality leave their imprint on the body. The physical reactions become symbols of connection, a visual echo of an inner state where desire and affection merge. Moment 3. Defining exactly when orgasm begins and ends has long intrigued scientists. Researchers mark the onset with sudden rhythmic pelvic floor contractions, a rapid rise in heart rate and blood pressure, and the peak when these reach their maximum. The ending is measured when contractions slow, heart rate returns to normal, and blood pressure subsides. Yet the subjective experience tells another story. While instruments capture precise seconds, the mind perceives time differently under the surge of pleasure. For some, orgasm feels endless; for others, fleeting. This distortion illustrates the dual nature of the event: one part measurable biology, one part personal emotion. Orgasm is thus not just a reflex but a journey, a beginning, a crescendo, and a resolution. Much like music that swells and fades, when the physiological signs quiet, what remains is a lingering sense of relaxation, closeness, and satisfaction. Science can chart the data, but only lived experience reveals its depth. The interplay between body and feeling shows why orgasm continues to captivate both researchers and lovers alike. It is at once a biological phenomenon and a testament to intimacy and connection. Moment 4. In 1985, a groundbreaking study was conducted to better understand the duration of female orgasm, a subject rarely explored at the time. The research team invited 28 young, healthy women with stable sexual lives to participate in the experiment. What made this study remarkable was its method. A small electrode was placed against the vaginal wall to measure blood flow, as increased circulation is a reliable indicator of sexual arousal. At the same time, participants were instructed to use a stopwatch to mark the precise moment they felt orgasm begin and end. The results surprised many. The average orgasm lasted about 20 seconds. Yet the range was wide. Some experiences lasted as little as 10 seconds, while others stretched close to a full minute. This revealed that orgasm is not a uniform event but a spectrum of experiences shaped by physiology, mood, and emotional connection in the moment. The 20-second average was more than just a number, it offered a deeply human perspective, reminding us that every woman's body has its own language of pleasure. Even after nearly 40 years, the 1985 study remains a milestone, proving that orgasm lasts longer than most people assume and highlighting the diversity and individuality of intimate experience. Moment 5. Another intriguing finding from the 1985 research was the sharp contrast between scientific measurements and women's personal perception. Most participants underestimated the length of their orgasms. While instruments showed an average of about 20 seconds, women typically reported around 12 seconds. In fact, 86% of participants guessed a shorter duration than what was measured even when asked only minutes afterward. This highlights how the brain struggles to track time accurately during the intensity of climax. The sensation is often so overwhelming that it distorts perception, making longer moments feel fleeting in memory. Researchers also noted that, in the lab environment, women took an average of 7.8 minutes to reach orgasm through self-stimulation. This difference underscores the gap between natural experiences and those observed under scientific conditions, where monitoring devices and observation can affect comfort. Another key point: orgasm strength showed no clear correlation with blood flow or its duration. This suggests that orgasm is not purely a physical reaction but also shaped by psychological states, relaxation, trust, and emotional connection. To truly understand orgasm, science must be paired with empathy for the uniqueness of personal experience. Moment 6. Later studies broadened the picture, showing just how varied female orgasm can be. While most data place the average duration between 20 and 30 seconds, the range is far wider. Some orgasms last only 3 to 15 seconds, brief but still powerful. Others extend for 20 seconds to nearly 2 minutes, creating the sense that time itself has paused. Surveys reveal that 40 to 48% of women report orgasms lasting 30 to 60 seconds or longer. These numbers prove that there is no single standard. Each body and each circumstance creates its own rhythm, like a unique piece of music. Some women experience shorter, explosive orgasms, others enjoy longer, rolling waves. Both are equally valid and equally meaningful. This diversity carries an important message: orgasm should never be judged by duration alone. What matters most is the quality of the experience and the satisfaction it brings. Science can give us numbers, but it cannot fully capture the richness of how women feel in those intimate moments. The true value of orgasm lies not in seconds counted, but in the joy, release, and connection it delivers. Moment 7. One of the most fascinating aspects of orgasm is the way it bends our sense of time. Immersed in the moment, the brain loses its ability to measure duration with accuracy. For some, half a minute passes like a flash; for others, just a few seconds can feel like eternity. This distortion shows how powerfully emotions shape our perception of time. Research also suggests that women aged 31 to 40 often experience longer orgasms, averaging around 30 seconds. The explanation may lie in confidence and experience. At this stage of life, many women know their bodies more deeply, feel less inhibited about appearance, and are more capable of focusing entirely on pleasure. With greater self-assurance and emotional maturity, they can relax, let go, and be present in the experience. This not only extends orgasm but also deepens its meaning. Ultimately, whether 10 seconds or a full minute, what matters is not duration but the quality of connection, the sense of intimacy, and the love expressed. Here, biology and emotion merge, turning orgasm into both a scientific phenomenon and a profoundly human experience. Quality and satisfaction matter more than duration. Influencing factors include level of arousal. One of the most important factors influencing the duration and intensity of orgasm in women is the level of arousal prior to climax. Sexual arousal develops in stages, and the buildup of anticipation plays a decisive role. When a woman experiences prolonged stimulation, her body has more time to increase blood flow to the genital area, expand blood vessels, lubricate tissues, and heighten neural sensitivity. This physiological preparation allows orgasms, once achieved, to last longer and feel more intense. Conversely, when stimulation is rushed, orgasms are often shorter and less fulfilling. From a psychological perspective, anticipation and emotional connection with a partner amplify arousal. Extended foreplay, eye contact, gentle touch, and affectionate words stimulate the brain to release dopamine and oxytocin hormones associated with pleasure and bonding. This combination of physiological readiness and emotional intimacy significantly enhances orgasmic intensity. In this sense, arousal functions like building energy reserves. When finally released, the body experiences a powerful surge that feels both overwhelming and satisfying. Scientific research supports this view, showing that longer foreplay is correlated with stronger orgasms. Thus, experts often recommend prioritizing quality arousal, investing time in touch, intimacy, and emotional safety rather than focusing solely on the final peak. Ultimately, arousal is not just the prelude to orgasm, but an essential foundation that shapes its duration and depth. Type of stimulation. Not all orgasms are the same, and the type of stimulation plays a key role in their differences. Women may reach orgasm through clitoral stimulation, vaginal stimulation, or a combination of both. Clitoral stimulation tends to produce quicker and more distinct orgasms, as the clitoris contains the highest concentration of nerve endings in the female body. Vaginal orgasms, on the other hand, often require more time and intensity but can generate a deeper, more diffuse sensation throughout the body. When both forms of stimulation are combined, many women report experiencing longer, more powerful orgasms that radiate beyond the pelvic area. Neurological studies confirm that during combined stimulation, multiple regions of the brain activate simultaneously, including areas linked to pleasure, memory, and emotional processing. This explains why combined orgasms are often described as whole-body experiences and remembered as especially profound. Scientifically, these differences highlight the diversity of female physiology and psychology. There is no single, correct, way to experience orgasm. Each woman has her own pathways and preferences, shaped by biology, personal history, and emotional context. Recognizing this diversity encourages women to explore without pressure and embrace what feels authentic to them. In relationships, communication and experimentation can help partners discover which forms of stimulation are most fulfilling. Ultimately, the type of stimulation is less about fitting into a category and more about celebrating the individuality of each woman's pleasure. Hormones. Hormones, particularly estrogen, exert a strong influence on the length and intensity of orgasm. Throughout the menstrual cycle, hormone levels fluctuate, directly shaping sexual response. When estrogen peaks during ovulation, women often report that their orgasms are more intense, longer lasting, and easier to achieve. This is because estrogen enhances blood flow to genital tissues and increases neural sensitivity, creating optimal conditions for orgasm. Beyond physical changes, estrogen also impacts mood and sexual desire. During ovulation, many women feel more confident, more easily aroused, and less inhibited. These psychological factors combine with physiological readiness to deepen the orgasmic experience. Conversely, in phases of lower estrogen, such as the premenstrual period, orgasms may feel shorter or harder to reach. Neuroscience studies further show that estrogen activates brain regions linked to motivation, desire, and reward. This illustrates that orgasm is not only a genital event but a whole body response influenced by the hormonal environment. While hormone fluctuations are natural, understanding their impact can help women interpret variations in their sexual experience without anxiety. Rather than a sign of dysfunction, these shifts reflect the dynamic interplay of biology and emotion. Hormones, therefore, are not just regulators of reproduction but key modulators of intimacy and pleasure. Psychology. Psychological state has a profound and immediate effect on orgasm. Stress, anxiety, or lack of focus can significantly reduce the likelihood of climax or shorten its duration. Elevated stress hormones like cortisol interfere with sexual response by constricting blood vessels and dulling sensitivity in the genital area. As a result, even when physical stimulation is present, the body may not reach the intensity required for orgasm. Conversely, when women feel safe, relaxed, and emotionally connected, orgasms become deeper and longer lasting. In such states, the brain releases higher levels of dopamine and oxytocin, reinforcing feelings of bonding and pleasure. These neurochemicals not only extend the orgasmic phase but also enhance overall satisfaction. Experts emphasize that orgasm cannot be separated from the mind. Some women even achieve orgasm through mental imagery alone, demonstrating the brain's remarkable power to generate pleasure without direct physical input. This highlights the importance of cultivating mental and emotional well-being as part of sexual health. Building trust in relationships, reducing performance anxiety, and practicing mindfulness can help women fully immerse themselves in the present moment. Ultimately, orgasm is both a biological reflex and a psychological experience. By addressing stress and nurturing emotional connection, women can unlock more fulfilling and enduring orgasms, proving that the mind is as vital as the body in the symphony of sexual response. Pelvic floor strength. The pelvic floor muscles are central to orgasmic intensity. These muscles, which support the uterus, bladder, and rectum, are also responsible for the rhythmic contractions that occur during climax. When pelvic floor muscles are strong, contractions are more forceful and regular, leading to longer and more satisfying orgasms. Conversely, weak or underdeveloped muscles can result in less noticeable contractions and diminished sexual response. Kegel exercises are a widely recommended method to strengthen these muscles. Studies show that women who practice Kegels consistently are more likely to experience enhanced sexual function, including easier arousal, increased lubrication, and stronger orgasms. A healthy pelvic floor improves blood circulation, enhances nerve sensitivity, and provides greater control during sexual activity. Beyond sexual health, pelvic floor strength contributes to overall well-being by reducing the risk of urinary incontinence and pelvic organ prolapse. For many women, the confidence gained from improved pelvic control extends into their intimate lives, fostering greater comfort and self-assurance. From both a scientific and emotional perspective, pelvic floor strength acts as the foundation of orgasmic quality. It bridges physical capacity with psychological confidence, allowing women to embrace intimacy with less worry and more joy. Thus, training the pelvic floor is not merely an exercise in health but a pathway to deeper, more powerful sexual satisfaction. Medications. Certain medications can alter sexual response. With antidepressants in the SSRI, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor, class being among the most studied. While these drugs effectively manage depression by increasing serotonin, they may simultaneously reduce dopamine, a neurotransmitter crucial for pleasure and orgasm. As a result, many women report difficulty reaching orgasm, or describe their orgasms as shorter and less intense while on SSRIs. Other medications, including some blood pressure drugs, sedatives, and hormonal contraceptives, can also influence orgasm. The extent varies depending on dosage, individual physiology, and duration of use. These effects can be frustrating, as they create tension between maintaining physical health and preserving sexual satisfaction. Fortunately, there are options. With medical guidance, women may adjust dosages, switch to alternative treatments, or explore supportive therapies to counteract side effects. Open communication with healthcare providers is essential, as stopping medication abruptly can pose risks. By addressing concerns honestly, solutions can often be found that balance both mental health needs and sexual well-being. Ultimately, the influence of medication on orgasm underscores the interconnectedness of health. Sexual pleasure is not isolated from medical treatment but should be recognized as part of holistic well-being. Acknowledging and addressing these effects empowers women to advocate for both their physical and sexual health without compromise. Age. Aging is a natural factor that influences orgasm. As nerve sensitivity tends to decline over time, slower nerve signaling can reduce the intensity and duration of orgasmic contractions. Additionally, hormonal changes, particularly the drop in estrogen during menopause, decrease blood flow to genital tissues and reduce sensitivity, making orgasms more difficult to achieve or shorter in duration. However, aging does not equate to the loss of sexual pleasure. Research shows that women who maintain good physical and emotional health continue to experience meaningful orgasms well into midlife and beyond. Exercise, a balanced diet, stress management, and pelvic floor training all help preserve sexual responsiveness. In fact, many women report greater satisfaction in their later years due to increased self-confidence and emotional maturity. With experience comes a better understanding of one's body and needs, and less concern about external pressures or body image. This allows for more relaxed, focused, and fulfilling sexual encounters. Thus, while biology introduces changes with age, these do not erase the potential for rich sexual experiences. Instead, they invite women to approach intimacy with wisdom, adaptability, and self-compassion. Age reminds us that sexual fulfillment is not bound by youth but is a lifelong aspect of human well-being. With health and awareness, orgasms can remain vibrant expressions of love and connection at every stage of life. The female orgasm, whether brief or prolonged, cannot be measured merely in seconds or muscle contractions. It is a delicate fusion of biology, psychology, and emotion, a symphony where body and soul rise together in harmony. Science helps us understand the mechanisms of hormones, nerves, and muscles involved in this experience. Yet only the heart, and the connection between two people, gives orgasm its true depth, transforming it into a moment of love, intimacy, and joy in life. What truly matters is not duration but quality and satisfaction. A short yet fulfilling orgasm may be far more memorable than one that lasts longer but lacks emotional resonance. When women understand their bodies, cultivate a positive mindset, maintain health, and share intimacy with a partner, orgasm becomes more than a biological reflex. It becomes a testament to connection, respect, and mutual care. Ultimately, orgasm is not simply a destination but a journey of understanding and affection. It reminds us that in sexuality, as in life, the real value lies in presence, sincerity, and the ability to embrace each moment fully. Thank you for listening until the very end. If today's story has gently stirred your heart, whether through an old memory, a present feeling, or something never spoken into words, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Intimate wisdom is where we come together to touch the hidden corners of love, affection, and sexuality, things that may seem private, yet are in fact the very core of happiness. I wish you to always love deeply, live truthfully, and find yourself in every glance, every touch, and every trembling heartbeat. Affectionate greetings.